All right. Are we? Yes. Good morning, beloveds. I'm trying to see if Dante will come make a cameo. He's got a little bit of the zoomies and he's been just like, I've got a compromise. I have a butler's window. I don't use the formal dining room. I use it as an office, but I have a pass through and, I don't want him on the kitchen counters, but he wants to be on the kitchen counters. So what I do is I insist that he gets up. Well, he chose to start sitting in the butler's pantry. And I'm like, this is a compromise I can live with. I'm just like, so he's sat in the butler's window watching me. I was messing with my Lego flowers and he was desperately trying to get to where I was messing with the Lego flower. I don't know why. And now, like, he's just zooming around the house going, I don't know. I think he recognizes that today looks like a mom and dad are going back to work day. I think that's what it is. Because I have been in the house for 5 days. But I work all day today and all day tomorrow and then half day Wednesday and then I have Thursday off and then I work Friday and then next week goes back to normal. But he's been like, so I think he recognizes today looks a little bit more like usual. And he's like, no. All right. We are doing a new design for living. So let's do the housekeeping. And all the housekeeping is me reminding you that we are Creative Life Spiritual Center. Let's try that. The website is creativelife.org. The constant contact email, info@creativelife.org. That will get you on a mailing list that gets you one email a week unless something unusual happens, which we live in the Gulf Coast. So that's usually weather related. The hot links are hot. So click here now means it. It tells you what's going on for the week and the month. And it is a blind CC, which means nobody will see your email. You want to end up on anybody else's email list because of us. So last thing I'll mention is the social media, simply because I'm doing this on social media. So we do not monetize the social media. We don't want to deal with the ads any more than you do. So what we ask you to do instead is to engage with the pages. Go like, subscribe, follow based on which platform you are on, and then engage with the individual post by reacting to the post, sharing the post, and commenting on the post. That bumps us in the algorithm. More people see our stuff, which in the end is the goal of social media. So it is a free and easy way that you can support the center. All right. So we are doing a new design for living. As I understand, this was written towards the end of Ernest Holmes' life. And it's probably a pretty good summary of how to do science of mind, because that's the thing about science of mind. Science of mind is not a what is it, it's a how to do it. What we like to say is we don't teach you what to believe, we teach you how to believe. What you believe is between you and the divine. How to believe? We've got some tips, tricks, and hacks. So to use the common terminology. We've got some processes and methods. As Reverend Jesse likes to say, anytime you pray for anything, what you get is a process. We've got ways to help you with that. We can assist you with that process. So that is what a new design for living is. And I thought it was particularly appropriate because New Year. I don't make resolutions. I don't. There is not going to be New Year, new me. I am going to continue to get weirder though. So that's my plan for next year. I'm going to get weirder. And who knows what that looks like? That's the fun thing. So, new design for living. Let me get my light. Let me get my, and they're very short articles. So sometimes we may only do one, but like we're going to finish up the chapter today because all three of the articles today are really short, which is why you saw 3 titles in the thing. They're just short. So we're going to do all 3 of them. All right. I'm trying to give myself a little grace in the morning. I keep running myself out of time. So the title of the first one is First Things First. Because we left off with the question, what would have to be the nature of it? Okay. So that's what that was the last question. And so we're starting with first things first. The astronomer says that the planets and the stars in the heavens evidence an arrangement and behavior that signifies that there is an intelligence behind what we ascertain. an intelligence that is infinite and that is mathematical in its thought. And that regardless of where humanity looks in the skies, they will always discover that the stars are built of the same kind of atoms, which we find here on Earth. The physicist says that the mathematical relationships of the elements of matter are real and not imaginary, based on laws of logical thinking, that the concept or idea of any mathematical orderliness in the physical world must of necessity precede the appearance of such orderliness. The biologist finds living things comprised of atoms, exhibiting a purpose and a goal. Atoms, the building blocks of the universe, do not build of their own accord. Something has to do the building. The theoretical physicist says that energy and mass are interchangeable, that matter is congealed energy. The practical physicist has demonstrated this. Pure energy may take form as a material particle, and the particle in turn may become pure energy. The invisible becoming visible, the visible becoming invisible. In explaining the nature of the physical world, Nobel Prize winner physicist Werner Heisenberg stated, "There is only one fundamental substance of which all reality consists. If we have to give the substance a name, we can only call it energy. But this fundamental energy is capable of existence in different forms." Zoologist C. Lloyd Morgan observed that if we acknowledge a physical basis of so-called matter and energy as ultimately involved in all natural events, may we not also acknowledge God as the directive activity on whom the manner of going in all natural events ultimately depends? Okay, so we're moving on into the greatest of all forces. It would appear that the greatest of all forces, the power of infinite directive... let me try that sentence again. It would appear that the greatest of all forces, the power, the infinite directive factor in and back of the universe, is something that we are forced to label mind or intelligence. Mind or intelligence, which is orderly and harmonious, as evidenced in the results of its action. Okay, which is... Okay, this action we describe and define in terms of law, but our definition of such laws will always be subject to refinement, and as we become more aware of the real nature and of the action we are investigating, there will be deeper understanding, which apparently I'm struggling with this morning. Mind also appears to be the ultimate source of energy, and energy is mind in action. Well, okay. Energy is the essence of atoms. Atoms are the building blocks of every physical thing. That which creates is the same thing as the thing. Wait, what? Okay, that which creates is the same as the thing created. The cause is the same as the effect. Thoughts are things, and all is in perfect accord with law, all a function of mind or intelligence. What we term our mind cannot be other than a part of the universal mind. There is nothing else for it to be a part of. The one mind is always creative, directive, the cause back of everything. Our minds, being a part of it, would have to be creative to a certain degree. Raynor C. Johnson, physicist, in this connection has said, the outside world of objects may thus be regarded as originating in a sustained field created by the divine mind, with which our minds are in a kind of rapport. It is logical to assume that the degree of our creativity is determined by our awareness and use of the laws by which it operates. What we don't know about, we can't use or direct. Okay. It's interesting that a physicist said that. Okay. All right. Last section in this chapter is unrealized potentialities. When we have come to accept the idea that there is an unseen yet ultimate reality back of us and our world, that this reality is intelligent and conscious, that our own mind or consciousness emanates from it, and as a result must partake of its nature, then we see that limitless unrealized potentialities lie before us. But these potentialities must of necessity conform to principles and laws. Okay. All right. And whenever principles and laws are encountered, there are proper methods and techniques for their use, which I believe is the purpose of science of mind. But hang on, we've got 3 paragraphs to go. From the ideas which have been advanced so far, some might say that all we have been doing is talking about God. Perhaps so, but God means different things to different people. Too many people have too limited a concept of God. As we enlarge our thinking, we can enlarge our concept of God. So in order not to have our thinking limited by what we may have previously thought or influenced by what others may say or think, excuse me, we start out with a new set of ideas and concepts which are unfettered and free to grow and develop. With this in mind, we can say that there is one reality, mind or intelligence, back of all things, a spiritual source, an infinite, an infinite, period. Call it God if you desire, but be sure that the term by which you call it is in no way limited by your previous way of thinking. Okay. Which is one of the reasons, I think that's one of the reasons why Jesse's moved away from using the term God. That, and, every now, people are constantly why do you talk about God? Because God is a trigger word. Because it is a very limited idea. So both he and I have moved on into using different terms. Now, for neither one of us, God is a trigger word. So neither of us have a problem with the term God, but we're trying to balance being respectful of other people's triggers. Which is why I used, instead of saying a beloved child of God anymore, I now say you are a beloved expression of the divine. I got it out of another book. I didn't create it, but I loved it so much. And I was like, no, that speaks to me in a way that a beloved child of God does not. So, and he uses the divine, but he also uses the source. So, whatever you call it, make sure that it's not limiting, because a lot of times for a lot of people, God means that old man in the sky sitting in the chair with a big book in his lap, with a pen, the great accountant. That's not what God is. So that's what Ernest is saying. Whatever you call it, don't let your term limit it. And naturally, whatever term you're going to use is limiting. Just choose one that's less limiting. That's the nature of language. Language limits. So, all right, last paragraph, and then we are done for the day. There are many ways to approach this reality, life itself. Learning more about the world we live in is just another way of learning more about the unseen or spiritual cause of our life and the way it works. It is possible that some of the ideas you may encounter here are not wholly acceptable or understandable at the time. If so, Do not argue with them. Set them back aside on a mental shelf for a while. Later, come back to them. Then their full importance may be realized. In any event, do not throw the wheat out with what may now be considered chaff, for we do not want any immediate disagreement with the ideas presented to prevent the acceptance of a later idea which could be a pearl of great price. Okay, so he's got a little, and it's little, because it's smaller, and it's in italics. So let's see what this says, because I didn't notice this. I thought it was credits or something, but nope, hang on. The world we live in is all that it appears to be, but it is also much more. There is the unseen cause, the intelligence or purpose in and through all things. Ephemeral and intangible as it may seem, this cause, which can only be described as a form of thought, is the basic reality of the universe. Such thought is the action or function of a supreme consciousness, which may be defined as mind, spirit, or God. And I appreciate that he ends this chapter one with that beautiful thing, but also telling you, hey, you know what? You may encounter some things that don't make sense. Don't disagree with them. Don't argue with them. Just set them aside. Because if you argue with them, if you get caught up in them, then you may put the book down and not get further in where the idea that strikes your chord, the idea that resonates with you is. Jesse has said on more than one occasion that science of mind, we're basically telling you the same thing over and over and over and over again. We just use different words until we find the words that resonate with you. And so I think that's what Ernest is trying to say here. Look, you may not understand it. You may not like it. Just set it aside and keep going. Because sometimes you'll come across an idea later that will make sense. Everything will fall into place. It's one of those things where you just keep turning the dials and eventually everything clicks in. That's what Ernest is saying here. So it's like, just keep going. Just keep going. And I've not found any, I do disagree with Ernest occasionally, but mostly on semantics, not like the fundamental ideas. So just keep going. Which I'm going to do. I will finish the book. And if I disagree with him, I will tell you, hey, you know what? But I'm going to try and be mindful of that and go, well, if I disagree with him, okay, you know what? Maybe I don't understand this right now. Let's see if he explains it better later on. All right. So I'm going to move on to the process of my day. I'm going to encourage you. And like when we got up and went for the walk this morning, it was 71 degrees. In the house. It supposedly is 49 out there. When we came back from the walk, it's already dropped to 69 in the house. The high today is only supposed to be 50, so we may have already seen the high. And it's just going to keep getting colder from there. So we've got to bring the ivies in tonight. So just, if you're in this area, be aware of the weather. Okay. We're not going to get any rain though. So if it freezes, no big deal. We don't know what to do with freezing rain. That's a bad thing. Freezing weather for a couple of days, we can handle that. I say that. So I'm going to encourage you to have a great day, wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonderful day, an awesome day, an amazing day, enjoy the sunshine while we've got it day, stay out of the wind because it's just cold day, drink plenty of water day, let's take care of business day, you got this day, cuddle your fur babies day, dress in layers day. Yes, dress in layers day, oh, it's Monday and I'm already out of words day. So a good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day. You are enough, just as you are. You are a beloved expression of the divine. You are spirit in motion, God in action, a brilliant light, a divine spark, a beautiful masterpiece, and a work in progress at the same time, at your own pace. And as Reverend Jesse likes to call us, you are a godling. So explore the truth of your being. Get to know who the divine knows you to be. Because the divine knows you to be good. And from there, anything at all is possible. All right. So Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. I will be back with you around 9-ish tomorrow. And we will pick up with Adventures in Thinking, Chapter 2.